Good. Hello, friends. We have friends. Yay! I just wanted to introduce them for those that weren't here the last time they were here. They are students at NMSU. We have Zephyr and Anthony and Kateri. And they will be playing along with Laura the hymn to Saint Bridget. I have learned so much this week about Imbolc. I'm excited for this service. So enjoy.
Hello and welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Las Cruces. We welcome those of you in our sanctuary this morning or joining us online. It is a joy to be together in worship. I am Cassandra Calway, your service leader. My pronouns are she, her. We share visual descriptions of ourselves to help ensure everyone, including people with no or low vision, can fully participate. Today I am wearing blue jeans, white t-shirt, and my very fancy sweater with shamrocks on it. So we've had a change in program. Margot could not come. Margot could not come today, so I did what I do best and volunteered Ashley Smith to help me. So she should have not appeared if she didn't want to be told what to do. Manifestation, folks, manifestation. So she'll be our service associate today. So I am white, a little chunky, female. My hair is gray. I'm wearing glasses, and my sweater is white with green stripes on it and green shamrocks. And I'm allergic to a lot of like weird alcohol things, so I don't wear a lot of perfumes. So I kind of probably smell like whatever soap I used this morning, and blue jeans and black sneakers. A warm welcome to all our guests, whether this is your first visit or your 100th. You are a part of this beloved community. Whoever you are, whoever you love, wherever you're from, whatever your life circumstance, gender identity, sexual orientation, disability, documentation status, or spiritual path, you fit in here. Your story matters. Your presence is a gift. If you are new here, welcome. Please give a little wave so that we can welcome you. No? Okay. Please join us after for the coffee hour. We would love to get to know you and allow you time to get to know us. To know what is happening between worship services, complete and turn in a visitor's card, and you'll receive invitations to participate in our programs. If you have additional questions, join us in the lobby by the pamphlet rack right after the service. As we enter into this time of worship, lean into joy, music, and movement of this multi-generational space. Now let us greet our neighbors with warmth and welcome. Okay, are they saying wrap up? Okay. Allison is giving me the signal that you need to wrap up. Wrap up. Okay, I don't want to use my mom voice, but I will if I have to. Thank you. Again? So we'll start with, we have an invocation to Bridget. So Bridget has been Christianized and made Saint Bridget in the Catholic Church. We'll talk about why later. But this is a prayer to Bridget that is widely known in Ireland, and I have changed it. I've paganized it. So, Bridget, you are a woman of peace. You brought harmony where there was conflict. You brought light into darkness. You brought hope to the downcast. May the mantle of your peace cover those who are troubled and anxious. and may peace be firmly rooted in our hearts and in our world. Inspire us to act justly and have reverence to all the goddesses. Bridget, you are a voice of the wounded and the weary. Strengthen what is weak within us. Calm us into quietness that heals and listens. May we grow each day into greater wholeness in mind, body, and spirit. May it be so. So we change God to goddess, and we do not say amen. I'm surprised I didn't catch on fire right now.
I believe it's me. Good morning, church. I am Eric Ramirez. I serve as your director of music for the church. And today I am wearing a white high-necked sweater with brass buttons on the collar. I have black pants and black and white shoes on, and I wear reading glasses to be able to see this piece of paper. I am a brown Puerto Rican 5'9" gay man. That covers all of it, right? My hair is black and graying on the sides. It's shaved short on the sides, not as cool as Rev Ali. Maybe I can say as cool as Rev Ali since he's not here today. Today, my pronouns are he, him, and elle, or you can just call me Eric. We'll talk about what is it called again, Allison, when you use a name online that isn't your name? My handle. Okay. If you're lucky enough to learn it, you can call me that too. Today, I smell of cedar and lilac, which means that I smell like your grandmother's hope chest. Today we are privileged enough to learn some new chants. I'll ask Allison Ashley and Cassandra to come up, please, to help me with this. You all are better at this than I am. So, the first chant is called "Never Lose Our Way to the Well." If you would rise in body or spirit as you are able. How many times? Oh, do you want to hold them? You can hold them too. They'll be on the screen,
Okay.
but I can give you them too.
The thing about pagan chanting is you cannot do it wrong.
We will never lose our way to the well of her memory and the power of her living flame. It will rise again. Like the grasses, through the dark, through the spill of our light, we will rise again. We are thirsting for the waters of life. We are moving. We will live again. Let's try that again. I want to hear you louder, okay? Now you know it after one time, okay?
And it's a little quicker. It's not like a drudge, like most Irish songs.
So now we will never lose our way to the well of her memory and the power of her living flame. It will will rise again like the grasses, through the dark, through the soil, to the sunlight. We will rise again. We are thirsting for the waters of life. We are moving. We will live again. Great job.
Like I said, you can't do it wrong.
No.
There's no way to do pagan chants wrong because most of us can't carry a tune. And we usually have a drum. So, Ashley's going to help me with the chalice lighting. In our Universal Unitarian tradition, we light a chalice as a symbol of our sacred faith and community. As Ashley lights our chalice here in the sanctuary, we invite those joining us online to share in the chat where you are lighting yours. Ashley's going to light the middle candle, which is the goddess candle today, which has replaced our normal candle, and these candles are all for the directions: earth, air, fire, water, north, south, east, and west. We light this chalice for the return of the light, in honor of Bridget, keeper of the hearth and fire. As the days grow longer, we kindle our inner flames of creativity and compassion, welcoming the first stirrings of spring and the promise of renewal. Good job. There seems to be a tradition in this sanctuary where pagans and fire don't match. Please rise in body or spirit and join me in saying our church's affirmation of the covenant and singing the doxology in English and Spanish. The words are on the screen. Love is a doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is our sacrament, and service is our prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve others in community, to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with creation. Thus do we covenant with one another. Some of those who know me and have heard me in the pulpit before have heard me spout that I am extremely proud of my Irish heritage. My father was a strict Catholic school, military family. My dad spent a lot of time doing a lot of ancestry research. He went to Ireland several times. He was convinced the only place you can get criminal records for your family is the Trinity Library, and he was convinced he had an ancestor that was a Molly Maguire. And proud of that. That's the worst part. Maybe that's where I get my rebellious spirit. So what I wanted to talk about during the Time for All Ages are some traditions, some traditional family things that happened at Imbolc in my family. Now, I was raised Irish Catholic, which is different from Roman Catholic in a lot of ways. And that's a whole different service or roundtable or story. But a lot of Irish changed to Catholicism, but they didn't fully do it. Right? They had a lot of traditions. Imbolc is one of those traditions. They Christianized Bridget of Kildare in order to have a Saint Bridget. So they couldn't get rid of everybody, so they had to fold some people in. The thing that I don't think that the Catholic Church understands when they did this is that Bridget is considered a goddess of three. She's in there with Morgan, who is my patron goddess, who's the goddess of sovereignty and war. So they still weren't really getting rid of rebellion in Ireland. So in my family, my grandmother, my grandma Calway, when she was little, her last name was Shelley. So she came from a Scotch-Irish family. She is terrified and put a really big, strong fear of any little people into like all of our hearts, right? Pixies, leprechauns, fairies. Yeah, they're just, and she would go and put honey and milk out on her way to Mass in the morning. That is not a normal Catholic thing. So in my family, what we used to do is we have this, what we call the Breed Brigade. And this is a cloth, it's a piece of cloth that you put outside on the eve of Imbolc. You lay it outside on a bush or tie it on your door. I hang this one on my clothesline. And then you cut it into strips. The strips can be used in multiple ways. It is believed that Bridget comes by your house at night when you are asleep, and she walks by and she blesses it. In my family, somebody always went outside and made little footprints, kind of like they do for Santa. So it looked like she had actually been there. Lots of homes actually set up what they call a bride bed or a breed bed, and that is a place that they set up by the fire, so you welcome her into your home, a place for her to sleep, a place for her to relax on your travel. You can also make a small little bed and put these corn dollies like this in there. So we make corn dollies every year. I also have here Bridget's cross. I can guarantee you I did not make this. I think Ashley did. I believe I started to try to make it, but if you know me in the circles of paganism, I am called the half-craft witch. I never finish anything. I don't know how, and I get frustrated. So this is a Bridget's cross made out of pipe cleaners, and it has a color for each of the 4 directions, and then a little pentacle on the front. So if you can make these, they make them out of rushes. This is a very kind of primitive example. I have seen them huge, really big. It's a lot of work because you have to fold them over. So I have that one and I keep it because it will never be made again unless someone else makes it. And then these are simple to make. We just soak the corn husks and then fold them over, and you can make a little doll like this. There's a little man. These can be very elaborate as well. I have seen them so they hang and they're all twisted together and they're incredible. Some of the people in the CUUPS group bring fabric and decorate them all pretty, put little hats and things on them. This is the best you get from me, okay? So, in my family's tradition, these strips, which we'll hand out, my grandmother was completely convinced that if you had one of these, you would never get lost. She sewed them into everybody's clothing. So the only thing that I can think of is that Ireland is kind of a dangerous place for children. There's lots of crevasses, there's lots of cliffs, there's lots of places you could disappear. So stories of changelings and fairies that would take you away in the night and those kinds of things are probably what kept them in the yard. Okay? So you didn't wander away. I pass these out at CUUPS every year, and I have some members of CUUPS want these every year because they do not lose their keys if they tie them to their key ring. You can put it on your front door for protection, hang it in a tree. So that's what we're going to hand these out. I have some here for everybody. You can take it home and do whatever you want. These were blessed by Bridget last night. So you have these. Imbolc is a very important celebration for a lot of Irish families because it's in the middle of winter and spring. So it's right there, and Imbolc actually means in the belly. So it's a time when animals start to become pregnant. You know, we use milk as a symbol. A lot of people put milk by their front door. They splash it on their door. And so milk is very important in that group. I used to watch my grandma do some really, what I thought back then were weird things, but things that I would always do now. Take a little milk, spritz it on your door, pour a little by the front. There's a cinnamon prosperity thing where you can blow cinnamon into your front door. I will usually do that on the first Sunday of the month except for Imbolc. So, and then Imbolc I'll use the milk because that's what my grandma did. If you don't want your keys to be stolen, if you don't want to not be able to find your batteries, if your shoes are always missing, I'd say a little bit of honey and some milk out on your front doorstep might keep that from happening because you might have a couple of fairies. We do not have fairies in my house. I don't like them. They're not allowed. And I don't get my stuff stolen because I take care of them, even though I don't let it. Because I fear them, I take care of them. So these are some of the traditions that in my family that we always did. And we moved around a lot because I came from a military family. So if my grandma wasn't around, these were always things that my dad did. He really felt like there was a tradition, and some traditions were meant to be carried, and some things shouldn't be lost. One of the things that I wish that he had felt hadn't been lost that he had done was let us learn Irish. So I would have loved to learn Irish from my grandmother. He did make me go to Irish step dancing classes. Oh, God. I am not coordinated. So we had the little wigs and, we did all that. These are some of my traditions in my family. I invite you to use Imbolc as a time to reflect on what you want to do for the rest of this year. I invite you to use Imbolc as a time to decide what your spring is going to look like, to start thinking about what's in the belly, right? What's coming, what are you brewing? Lots of pagan holidays are around what's next. And that's because lots of times nobody knew what was next, right? If you saw somebody on Imbolc, you may not have seen them since Yule. And if you were like, yay, you're alive still. You had plenty of food. So that's what these community celebrations and traditions are about. If you want to make corn dollies or find out how Bridget is celebrated in ritual, you are always welcome to come to CUUPS because we will be doing Imbolc on the third Saturday of the month, which I believe is the 21st. So we will have corn dollies there, and we will be doing an actual ritual out in the grass. So for those of you who saw me walking around out there in the wet grass and with my bare feet, we will be doing a lot of that on that day. So you're all welcome to come check it out. But these are some of my family traditions. I wanted to explain these before we hand them out. If you would like one, you can do anything. And we have a picture later that shows how they're tied to trees. And I do this stuff, like this morning I called Cassidy and Caitlin and Jeanette, and I'm like, did you put your cloth out last night? And they're all like, "Rrr." So I keep trying. So that's why in the CUUPS community, we have young people, and we try to foster this in them because we don't want this to die. So it's important that the traditions be carried on. So I have all the little witchlets, and we will be working with them on this. So I'm a little flustered this morning. I'm sorry because I'm here by myself, and I'm not fully prepared to do Margot's part. But this is my part. So and if you have any questions, I'm happy to ask any questions after. Oh, no, we'll do that. Okay. Okay. Sharing of gifts.
I can do it.
Oh, great.
As we gather in this sacred space, we're invited to invest in our church's mission and shared life. The offering we take today and every Sunday is more than financial support. It's a reflection of our commitment to this community and the values we strive to live out: love, justice, welcome, and care. Our church depends on each of us, every single one of us. Your generosity sustains our worship, programs, partnerships, and our ability to grow in faith and service. Our church, whether you make a one-time gift, support today's Change for Change partner, or fulfill your annual pledge, every contribution helps strengthen our community and extend our reach. This quarter, our Change for Change partner is Cherished Canine Rescue. They've rescued a lot of doggies and puppies. Should make you feel warm inside. Through this partnership, we carry our values beyond these walls. Today as well, Casa de Peregrinos support is today as well. So your Change for Change, you can give online, by mail, or by placing your gift in the basket. Every gift matters, and every gift makes a difference. The offering will now be given and gratefully received.
Okay, as I said, Margot couldn't be here today. She called me early this morning, so I put together something. So my father could tell a story. He had what we call the gift of the gab. He could put, that Blarney Stone to shame. Lots of stories that he told, we weren't even sure if they were half true, half myth, made up, told to put us in line. So I am going to rely on generations of Calways who could make something tiny, 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 really big. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to talk a little bit about Bridget. And Mike has some pictures of Margot's trip to Ireland. So this is a statue of Bridget of Kildare. You can see that she has a flame in her hand, and she's holding a staff. So this is in Kildare, Ireland. Originally, the goddess Bridget had a temple there, and she had like virgins who had kept her flame alive and took care of the well. And when Bridget was Christianized, this became a convent, and now there are nuns who take care of that flame. This photo here is on the side of a building in Ireland. You can see that she has a halo. So this is a portrait of Saint Bridget. So, and she is a very loved and very trusted saint in Ireland. Do you have one more, Mike? This is Bridget's well, her sacred well. You can see these little cloths hanging from there, hanging from the tree. So you can, and I can tell you that there are 4 sacred wells of Bridget in Ireland, okay? This one here is in Kildare. So Kildare is probably the most accurate place since she's known as Bridget of Kildare. So that's probably the most accurate one. But there are several. And you can go and sit and meditate, and they have classes. This space is shared by the Catholic Church and the pagan community. We should release some snakes. Only the pagans got that. So it is a very beautiful spot. It said that when Bridget was born that she had flames shooting out of her head. So that's why she's associated with fire and light. More than likely, it was because she had red hair, very stark red hair. When I was young, I always really wanted to look really Irish and have red hair and blue eyes, but I have this ruddy Irish skin, and it just probably wouldn't be very pretty. But, so I got that instead. But I did want to be redhead when I was younger. So Bridget, when she was born, we don't really know who her parents were. There's a lot of talk that it might be Dagda, who was considered the All-Father in Ireland. But she was part of what we call the Tuatha, which is the original people of the land of Ireland. When the Fomorans took over Ireland, the Tuatha had to go underground, and this is where we get the little people myth. So this is when they became the Fae, the Pixies, the leprechauns, and all the little assorted brownies, little small things that bite. So she is the saint of smithing, the saint of poetry, and the saint of hearth and home, okay? And she is the goddess of poetry, hearth and home, and smithing. So all we did was just put an ST in front of her name, okay? So the reason why she is so important in modern Ireland, and why I think that we should really look into what she means, is because Bridget is such a powerful archetype for those times and these times. She speaks to diverse groups of people and crosses all barriers. To those who follow pre-Christian spirituality in one form or another, she accepted the triple goddess. She's a patroness of poetry, healing, smithcraft. Lady of the Sacred Flame and Healing Waters for those who follow Christian traditions. She is Saint Bridget, a very real woman who lived during the not-so-distant history. To poets and artists of all kinds, she is a muse. The description of her in each tradition is exactly the same. The mantle that she wore was green, and it was green because green signifies fae. So she had a green mantle. It was later, after she was Christianized, it was white. Then it looked like it was white. In my family, it has always been blue. And the reason why I think that is probably is because of the cross of my grandma between Catholicism and paganism, and the Virgin Mary is always pictured in a blue mantle. I don't know that for sure. That's just my deduction. But it has been some variety of blue as long as I can remember. So one of the things that Bridget, when the story of Saint Bridget is that she was put in this orphanage and they treated her really badly and they made her churn butter all day and all night, right? And all she did was churn butter. And then she couldn't keep up with the butter churning, so she prayed to God, and God appeared and churned the butter for her so that the butter overflowed and she had enough butter for everybody in Ireland, okay? And this is her miracle, and that's why she is a saint. But as a saint, she did a lot of things for poor people. She fed a lot of poor people. She took care of the sick. She took care of the elderly. She took care of orphans. She had a convent. She had the nuns there doing all this kind of work. But when she was a goddess, she went to the king and asked the king to give her some property so that she could build a place to take care of the poor, because she was unhappy with the way that the king was treating the poor. So the king said, no, 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 and she went time and time and time. So she appeared in her mantle, her long cloak, and she said to the king, you have to give me whatever I can cover with my mantle as a piece of property. And the king's like, well, that thing you're wearing, it's not very big, right? So whatever. So she gets 4 maidens to come, and they stand and start pulling it and pulling it and pulling it, and it expands and expands and expands to over an acre of land. And Bridget says, I can keep going, right? And he says, nope, you can have that. And he gives her that, and that's how she gets started. So this is why we do this Imbolc mantle celebration, okay? It's for protection. It's for health. And she could have kept going, but she took what she got and she moved on, and she did a lot of really great work for the poor and the sick and the people of Ireland. That is why it was harder to cut her out than to just canonize her. She is also, surprisingly, has some stories around being at a gathering, and I don't know why they do this, but apparently they had beer at Mass, and they ran out of beer, and Bridget miraculously produced more beer for Mass. So that story sounds slightly familiar. So there's that aspect of her. She is also known for being the one that you would bless your sheep, your cows, your animals, so that you have infant animals in the spring, so you have plenty of milk. She also was responsible, and she did some things with the sea. Sacred wells and water are part of her purview. She had a confrontation with a fish. The fish could only be seen every 7 years, and whoever saw the fish was healed. An old woman tells her that she has an eye problem and she can't find the fish. And so Bridget goes out and gets the fish to come. And so the story is that, and it's back and forth, either Bridget got the fish to come or Bridget was the fish. Okay? So she went down and summoned the fish, and the fish came, and the fish healed her, and Bridget was the fish. So she has a lot of stories and a lot of different ways that she's worshipped in Ireland, worshipped through paganism. And in Catholicism, we don't say worship, it's intermediary. Saints are an intermediary between you and God. And so she is that person. She's also known for fertility. So a lot of, which I don't think is a problem with the Irish, but if you wanted to get pregnant, you could pray to St. Bridget. Okay, so she is also a patroness of midwives, doulas, and people who are involved in fertility and birth. I think that St. Bridget for me, or Bridget the goddess for me, is someone that I can go to when the home is messy. Not messy, dirty, messy issues, right? Help me with my relationship with blah, blah. Protect my child. I will be shipping these strips to every corner of the United States that my children are living, and they're going to be like, what the heck, Mom, you're so weird. But I have so much faith in these and that they protect. And all my life, I had these sewn into my underwear, sewn into my winter coat, sewn into whatever my grandma could get a hold of. And then people would be like, what is that? What is that? That's so weird. So these strips are important, and I hope that you will take one. We'll pass them out and use it for whatever you need protection for. I don't know, some of you probably don't know that my daughter was recently diagnosed with brain cancer and had a craniotomy in November. These are hanging all over her house, right? I had some from last year. I hung them over her bed. I hung them over the door. I hung them everywhere. I got some crystals, some rocks, and I stuffed one of these in there. She's probably like took them down after I left, but it's still there and it still means something to me. So use them as you will. And if you just think they're pretty and just want to hang it on your front door or your tree, and it doesn't, and past that, that's fine. She'll still know you hung it, and she'll still know that you appreciate her. So in closing, as a goddess, Bridget teaches important lessons. Too often remember only goddesses of spring and summer, of flowers, warmth, and sunlight. Bridget reminds us that strength of women is also manifested as an invincible fire that burns steadily through the heart of winter, no matter how dark the cold the world is. She is special not only to women generally, but to poets and artists, healers, midwives, herbalists, and farmers and gardeners, warriors and rulers and craftspeople of all kinds. And yet, exalted as the goddess among the ancient Celts, it would seem that her apparent denomination to human saint has not harmed her reputation at all, as we can see in these pictures. There are pictures of Bridget all over, lots of buildings all over Ireland. In Ireland today, her memory is dear as ever as it was in 1,500 years ago. Gods and goddesses are well and good, but they tend to be awesome and remote beings. By definition, they exist beyond the world of humanity, and it is rather challenging to see them as role models or confidants. Christianity has addressed this problem with Jesus, a God became human and walked among us, and with Mary, a woman caught up with divine events. Both are bridges between human and divine, and are easier to relate to than a God who created the heavens and the earth and spoke in a voice of thunder. Although I do like my God of Thunder. Ironically, the Catholic Church's apparent reconstruction of Bridget may have had an unintended effect of making female divinity more accessible. Saint Bridget may have done for the goddess what Jesus did for Jehovah, where the Bridget was exalted bestower of sovereignty, the goddess of the sun, the power of the rushing rivers. She has become a woman, a milkmaid even, a farm girl who tended sheep and got drenched in rainstorms and gave butter to poor people, and grew up to found a great abbey, a warm and compassionate person who had an iron will and a quick temper, who argued with kings and loved art and liked her beer. Bridget the woman could be a big sister, a beloved aunt, a heroine, and a role model. She could be your friend.
That's so cool. Our second chant for today is Holy, Well, and Sacred Flame. Would you rise in body or spirit as you are able as we sing it? This one? This one, right?
Yeah, this one has some hand gestures, and so, sorry, Eric, I don't mean to take over. Holy water, sacred flame, Bridget, we invoke your name. Bless my hands, my head, my heart, source of healing, song, and art. I know you know this one, so. Okay.
Holy water, sacred flame, Bridget, we invoke your name. Bless my hands, my head, my heart, source of healing, song, and art. Holy water, sacred flame, Bridget, we invoke
So we will extinguish the flame. Please join me in saying the words to extinguish the flame. The words are on the screen. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. We carry this in our hearts until we are together again. So Brooks, Ashley, Gabrielle, Rabbit, Sarah, and Heather, we're going to do Merry Meet. Okay, so we'll do it quick. Okay, if you guys can just help us get it started, okay? All right, you ready, Ash? Yep. Okay. Go ahead. Merry meet and merry part, and merry meet again.
So we'll do it another time, and we'll do it a little bit faster.
Merry meet and merry part, and merry meet again.
We'll do it one last time, and we'll do it even faster.
I think we forgot the first section.
Oh, made the circle?
Yeah.
Oh.
May the circle be open but unbroken. May the love of the goddess be ever in your heart. Yay! Merry meet and merry part, and merry meet again. One more time. May the circle be open but unbroken. May the love of the goddess be ever in your heart. Merry meet and merry part, and merry meet again. And if you like to cha-cha, we will cha-cha on Saturday when we do this. We have a little stuff that goes with it. It's very funny to see a bunch of people around a fire have been inviting an ale, tried to kick and do the cha-cha.
So please stay seated during the postlude. I recommend it because of what she's going to play. You are welcome to stay for the invitations and engagement, and or join us in the fellowship hall for refreshments.
Join for coffee and refreshments in the great room down the entranceway. And if you'd like to stay to hear the invitations to engagement, that is fine as well. So I'll give you a moment if you want to leave. Okay. So here at the Unitarian Church of Las Cruces, our announcements are not just updates, they are invitations to action and engagement. Each one is a chance to show up, to live out our values in real ways, and they are opportunities to grow in community, to deepen your faith, and to make a difference. There are 3 that are listed in your order of service on the back. One is the Casa de Peregrinos, and we have been long-term supporters of the Casa de Peregrinos, and they need our help more than ever. So our congregation is sponsoring the first Sunday of each month, sponsoring an opportunity to receive food and money on behalf of Casa de Peregrinos. Jenny Herrick will be in the lobby for that. The Tomball Gallery presents Ordima, The Joy of Liberation, a one-person exhibition spanning nearly 50 years. The opening reception will be February 6th, beginning at 5, and on view through February 22nd. And then the final engagement in the announcements today is the roundtable, which is on February 9th, and it is about Palestine. Let's talk about Palestine. Imagine your life as a Palestinian. What work do you do? How are the schools? Do you have a house? Does your family have medical care? Do you have a car, and can you drive it? Do you know which roads you can use? Are you free? Are you safe? Come in here and see what Sue Small found during her visit to the West Bank last spring. The roundtable is here in the sanctuary on February 9th at 6:30. So you are all welcome to come and pass the word. So thank you very much. Have a great week, everybody, and we'll see you soon.